But I'm also in the process of recording some videos for the help section. I've written some help entries for it, but I haven't recorded the videos yet, so I'll get those uploaded soon.
Okay.
I guess before we start, do you have any questions? I just planned on running through all the different things that I added here and how to use them, but I'm free to
Yeah, I
answer
ran
questions
through a
first.
little bit about in the last 15 minutes, but why don't you just run through it? Because I've got a couple of issues and I've got a couple of problems, so maybe they'll come up as we go through this.
Okay, no worries. Let's look at how to create a new volunteer session from the admin side. So there's a couple ways to do it. It's all going to be under this event management tab right here. And you'll see here I've activated a new one called volunteer management. So we can start from there. Okay, so we come to this main menu. We've got three options right here. We've got our volunteer sessions first. These are the things that you're going to create that people are going to sign up for. And these are going to be the ones that are attached to calendar events. So that'll probably be the main place that you go. Down below that, we've got the volunteer permissions. So this is how you can grant admin permissions to normal members or to volunteer coordinators to manage specific events or just to have total admin access to just the volunteer module. So those options are all built in there. And then finally, we've got the reports down here. And so far, we've just got the one report you asked for, but we can expand that later if you have other ones you need. So let's go through these individually. We'll look at the volunteer sessions first. And I've already actually set up a couple of them here. Oh, looks like you set one up too. Good. So just to run through these first, the way this hierarchy works is the volunteer session is going to contain all the information for a given volunteering event. Within the volunteer session, we can create volunteer opportunities. Now, the opportunities are going to be things like front desk volunteers or ushers or anything like that. And then within each opportunity, we have time slots. And those are what the people are going to actually sign up for, the time slots within opportunities. And so they all link back together like that. So one session can have many opportunities, and each opportunity can have many time sessions, essentially. But they're all linked together in sort of that hierarchy. So instead of creating a new session, we're just going to start with one here. Or actually, no, we can create a new one. Why not? We would just pick from the event that we want here. And there is a separate way, I'll show you in just a moment, that we can do this directly from the calendar also. But there's two different ways to go here.
I need to stop here at this point. That list is far, far too long. Oh, excuse me. That list that that drop-down list, that should only be the current events that go forward, because that seems to list everything.
I had that at first, but then you asked me if you could update or add old event data and old volunteering data. So that's, I'm sorry?
Yeah.
What I can do, and I just noticed this, right now this is just a regular selection box, but I've used other ones before that are searchable, so you could just start typing into something here. And these are ordered by date from most recent or upcoming to oldest at the bottom. I can put the dates in there as well if that would be helpful.
Well, I think maybe, I'm just wondering whether we should initially, we need to do this so that we can put in the all the volunteer hours for 2016. But once we've done that, maybe we could do a change where you could just put a go forward date on that or something.
I could easily put links like up above this box that say, only show 2016, or a drop down box that says show only 2014, 2015, etc. Sort of like the events that we have.
I would say only. You could say only. You could say show. I mean, if this is possible, this would be the ideal. Would be to say show all of total events in this year, or only show events go just very much like I think you have something on the similar. Where is it on? I think it's on the events. When you look at events, when you do event management,
sort of like this thing, right?
Pardon?
Sort of like this here on the calendar.
Yeah, that would be good. That would be good.
Yeah, I can. That's easy. I can add that in 15 minutes or so.
Yeah, show past events, or show 2016, or if you don't select show 2016, all it shows is today's go forward events.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely do that for you.
Okay.
Let me just make a note here. That's easy. Basically, I'm just pulling in all the data, so it's easy just to limit it by a little bit.
Okay, please.
Sorry, let me
Thank
just
you.
take a note here. So on short and options to limit by year default to upcoming events. Okay, I will build that in there today for you. That's no issue. But what I wanted to show you too, and I'll probably change this icon, but each calendar event now, when you have the volunteer module activated, it has this little user icon. And like I said, I'll change that to be something more indicative of volunteering. But you can click
Okay.
that, and that will start a volunteer session based off of that one. So you can start it from both places, basically.
Okay. Cool. Cool.
All right, so let me go back here. So instead of starting a new one, I'll just go through this one I already created since the process is exactly the same. The first page here, you just call it whatever you want to, and by default, if you pull in an event, it's going to have the event name and then a space and then volunteers. But this can be changed to anything that you want to. It just pulls this in by default. Same thing with the start date. It's going to grab the default start date from whatever the event is. But again, you can change this to anything just by clicking on there and moving the calendar around.
Okay.
The end date, this is only if you have a multi-day event. So if it's just a one-day event here, you don't have to worry about the end date. But if you do have an end date, you can change it to here, and it'll know that it's a multi-day event. So we'll do something like that. Cutoff date, what I have right now is when people go and they're going to sign up and volunteer for these things. Once either the start date or the end date has passed, it falls off the calendar. They can't see it or register for it anymore. If you want to fall off before that, so say like this starts on the 27th, but we want all of our volunteers to sign up by the 20th. This is the last day that it will show and be available for them to register for. Otherwise, it will use whatever the later date out of these two is.
Okay, can we title that cutoff date to volunteer?
Cutoff date to volunteer. Yes, yeah. Let me.
Just the title of that box. It just, to me, it thinks, it's almost like the event's registration. I mean, I know the artists. They're going to be confused. That just say cutoff date to volunteer.
Yep, no problem. That's an easy change. Okay.
Okay.
All right. And then the volunteer coordinator. I've chosen you for this one just because I didn't want to give other people permissions.
Right.
But
Right.
What this does, this sets the person up as the volunteer coordinator, and you've got a list here of members that you can choose from.
Yeah, I have a question about that as well. I saw that. That should only be event coordinators.
Right. This is how you make someone into a coordinator. So this is just all your members, and you just pick who you want out of here. And again, only admins can add this. We don't have a specific way to denote volunteer coordinators in the system, so I don't have a group of members I can pull from.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. If you pulled admins and event coordinators.
But we don't have any event coordinators. We don't have a coordinator spot for this yet.
You have event admin people, right?
We have we have admins, but admins already have access to all of this.
But we want to identify the volunteer coordinator, which would be, well, I think that would be an event admin person. I guess it could not be. Okay, I see what you're saying. So this way, any member could become an event coordinator?
Yes, correct.
Let me think about that a bit. I mean, it would be easy to change it, I assume, to just say pull from the event admin list.
We could, but really that would really limit you. And I can almost guarantee you that you'd ask me to change it back later on at a certain point. And again, remember this, that only full admins who either are complete admins in the system or full admins over the volunteer module can create somebody as a volunteer coordinator.
Okay. All right. Okay.
So, and what I also want to tell you too is when you create somebody as a volunteer coordinator, it automatically adds the permissions for them for this one event. Not for the whole system, not for the whole volunteer system, but just for this one volunteer session.
Okay.
So then they can get in there and they can add members and change details and stuff like that.
All right, we'll go with that. Okay.
And actually, just to show you, I'll change it to myself here, and we'll see how it adds the permissions later. Okay. So after that one, we get into the volunteer opportunities here. And I've added some instructions here. If you need me to add clearer instructions, you can just give me the text and I'll change it there. So that's totally up to you guys. That's really easy for me to change. But so we go for their opportunities here. We can create a brand new one if we wanted to. So let's just say we need, I don't know, cleanup.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say cleanup crew. You can add a description right in here to say whatever you want, and that will show up in all the sessions when they show up. So now we've got our opportunities created. So now we want to add our time slots right here. So we'll say new time slots.
Wait, go back, do that again, because I couldn't do that a few minutes ago.
Add the new time slot?
That didn't show up on mine.
Oh,
When I added it, go to my event. You can't see it now, can you?
I'll get back to it. Okay, so this one right here.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's right there.
How did it go to new time slot? I missed that. I couldn't see how to do that.
As soon as you create the session, when you put in the name and the description right here,
Okay, okay,
And
okay,
then it should
cool.
be right here at the top.
Yeah, I didn't see that. Okay, good, good. All
Okay.
right.
If you may have just missed it, but if it doesn't show up, let me know. Send me a screenshot or something, and I'll look into it. But it should be fine now. Um,
Okay.
okay, did I have this other one still? Okay, still had this other one. Starting this one here. So we create new time slot here. By default, again, it's going to pull in whatever the date of the volunteer session is, and it's just going to start at 8 a.m. That's just a default start time, just because we need a start time. We don't necessarily need an end time, but we have to have a start time for these.
All right.
But again, you can change these to anything you want. We've got a simple little time helper here to help change these things to whatever.
Right.
And again, start time is required, end time is not. So if you have an open-ended thing where you say, we need these people to be here at 8 in the morning, but we don't know what time you're going to be done. So you don't have to put an end date in there. Or end time. Same thing with the end date. If you know that it's going to be a one-day event, you don't need the end date. But if you know that this is going to span a couple of days, then you can put an end date in there also.
How do you know? If you have two, if you put in 428, and then I want to see how you can allocate it to a day.
Okay, like that?
Yeah.
So this would mean that this one, you're looking for volunteers for this whole time span right here.
Oh, I see. No, wait a minute. Okay, let me think about this. So if I want to put someone on, I want to open up time slots for the 27th and the 28th.
Mm-hmm. Then we would add separate ones. So we could do the 27th right here.
Okay. Okay.
And then we would add a new time slot for the 28th. So then people would come in when they started to register, and they would see that these are two separate time slots. But if you wanted to combine them so that all the volunteers had to come for both days, then you would use the start and the end date up there.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, we don't do that. It's normally would be one day or the other. But yeah, it gives you flexibility. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, I figured while I was building, I should build it in with some maximum flexibility in case things change later. But yeah. So again, this is all on the setup side. The volunteers actually won't even see most of this, all the setup stuff. But I also want to point out the available openings here. So if it's unlimited, you leave it at 0. Anybody can register. You can get as many volunteers as you want. But if you've only got like 5 here, you can set that to that one, and it will not let people select this as a volunteer opportunity once that has been reached.
Right.
And you can also set the default credit hours awarded. So if we say like 5 credit hours get awarded for this one, that will automatically be allocated to people when they sign up, and then they or the volunteer coordinator are able to change that at a later point if you need to.
Okay.
Okay, so we finished that one, and then we can finalize it right after that. And we've added our time slot and our opportunity and everything. So a lot of these are going to be more complex because obviously we'll be adding more than 2 or 3 opportunities. But that's the basic way that all works. Do you have any questions about the general setup of that?
No, that's I had that one question, but that works now. Okay.
Okay, great. And yeah, like I said, if you have any trouble with that one, just let me know immediately. I'll take a look at it. All right, so once you get this here, actually let me go. Before I jump into the rest of the admin stuff, let me show you on the user side how this is going to look when they sign up. So we've added a new icon. Once the volunteering module is created or enabled, it shows up down here with the event stuff. So they can click on the volunteering part. And then they get multiple menus here, similar to the one that you've got here. And I should say on the user side, the member side, all of these little instruction areas are totally configurable, and I'll show you that in just a few minutes. But you can put whatever you want into these spots. I'll show you.
Okay.
Yep. So if they have any admin rights or admin access at all, they'll get this first one right here. So that's how, if you give an event coordinator permission for an event, they can get it right here. When they click there, it's only going to show them what they have access to. So right now, I'm a full admin in the system, so I have access to everything. But if they only had access to a particular session, they would only be able to get a view of that one. They wouldn't be able to change the reports or change the permissions or access other sessions or anything like that.
Okay.
The next thing right down here is the view volunteering calendar. So if I'm a member and I want to sign up or I want to see what's available to volunteer for, this is where I'm going to go. So it's going to list all the opportunities that we have on the calendar here. So here's the one that I created right down here that we had to span a few days. So they can click the magnifying glass to view information.
Yeah, whoa. Stop there. Stop right there. I had a problem with that screen. Go back to that screen. Okay. I tried clicking on it thinking that I just had to click on the words and not the magnifying glass.
Oh, okay. We can either add instructions or I can try to make the link encompass that.
I volunteer at a local museum here, and they have a very similar system to this. And you click on the, live model session, whatever you want to call it. And you just click on that highlight area. I think our artists will have problems. I didn't even see the magnifying glass to start with until I read the instructions up top. I was clicking it and saying, this is not working.
Okay, no problem. I can make the whole thing a clickable area.
Yeah, I mean, it seems to make more sense to me because that's the only thing you can do.
Just making a note here.
Right. And then the instructions should just say, click on the.
This is just default. You can change this to whatever you want later, so don't even worry about that. But yeah, I made a note. I'll change that later to go to the whole.
Yeah, click on the event you want to volunteer for, and then.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay, so once we get that, we see what the session name is. We see what event it's tied to. We see what the dates are. We see who the coordinator is, and then we get the description right here. Now, I've already signed up for this one just to give us some data, and so it will let you know. It will say, hey, you've already signed up for the following opportunities in this session. So again, we can see what we've already signed up for, how many credit hours we're going to earn, etc. We click sign up again, and it will let me know if I've signed up. Hey, you've already signed up for this. They're already checked. You can add new time slots, but you can't cancel ones you previously signed up for. If you wish to cancel, please contact the volunteer coordinator. So if I try to unclick that one, it's going to tell me, error, you previously signed up for this. To cancel, please contact the volunteer coordinator. But I can sign up for brand new ones with no problem, and it'll add it just fine for me.
Okay.
So once I've picked what I want here, I'll complete the sign up. And it will give me this screen right here. So it's going to let me know, here's, again, the session name, here's the event, the dates, the coordinator, the description, my information, and then exactly what I signed up for in my time slots here. And likewise in my email, I'll get this email right here that has that same exact information in it.
Yeah, I saw that. I got your email because you'd signed me up for something else.
Yes, you were the event coordinator. It also copies the event coordinator on this.
That's right. That's right.
Yep. Yeah. And I can change that if you want to. I just figured that would be easiest for you guys. You would know exactly when people sign up and change things. And
okay.
It also has in here, what was I going to say here? Oh, this text right here, this is also configurable. So you can change that to anything that you want right there. And I'll show you again where to change that at. All right. So like I said, the volunteer coordinator also gets a copy of this as soon as somebody changes. And then they can go back to their main volunteering page again. So after we've looked at stuff we can sign up for, then we can view my volunteering calendar. And this is only going to have the time slots that they have signed up for on it. So we'll go here, and again, the one was in April. So now you'll see these are the 3 different sessions that I signed up, or time slots that I signed up for within that one. And I can click, and I'll change this one to be the whole thing to click also instead of just the magnifying glass. But that will give me all the information that I've signed up for this particular session. So it tells me, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. That's the same as the museum thing I signed up for.
Okay, cool. Great. And then if they want to from here, they can click Edit My Hours, and then they can change their hours here. Notice they can't change anything else about this, but they can update their hours right here if they want to. We can change that to that. And I didn't make it a configurable option right now. They just have the ability to do that. But if we need to in the future to limit that, let me know. It shouldn't be too hard to do that. All right, so we'll go back to the main page. And then volunteering reports. This one probably will not work for me at this moment. Let me just see. Yeah, I have a different account that I'm signed in for, but I'll show you this on the other side here. Normally when they run this one, it'll take their member info. My member info for this session that I'm signed in for right now is what we call a super user, so I don't actually have a direct tie to your org, which is why it's not pulling that data in. But that is only for me that will happen. All right, so that's all the options that they have on the member side. They can look at the volunteering calendar, they can see what they signed up for, and then they can run their reports for their aggregate credit hours. And then if they have volunteer or if they have admin access, they can get to it from here.
Well, Bill, is it possible on that report? Go back to that report in a minute. Mm-hmm. Can we default to 1/1 of the current year to present date?
Yeah, easily. What I have it right now is just going 3 months back for the other one, but I can easily set that to 1/1.
Yeah, I mean, I want them to be able to change it, but all they're going to be doing is saying, well, one of my volunteers this year, 90% of the time, 99% maybe, they'll do that.
Okay, yeah, that'll take me 2 seconds. That's an easy one.
Yeah, let's just default that to the current year start date, 1/1/16, and then end date will be today's date.
Current date. Okay, yep, perfect. That's easy to do. All right. Any other questions or issues with the member side of it?
No.
All right. Let's go back to the admin side then, and we can look at the rest of the stuff you can do here. Okay, so we'll go back to the volunteer sessions again. We've got this little member icon next to it. that is how we're going to see who has signed up for what within this volunteer session. So we can see right here that I've signed up for these ones here. You've signed up for that one. If I want to edit the hours, I can click the pencil right next to these ones, and you'll see I get the exact same screen, but now it knows that I'm in admin mode and I'm entering data for a specific person. So that's how the coordinator would go, or an admin would go in and change somebody's hours that they earned.
Now, they would only see their events that they're coordinating, correct?
Correct. Yep. So once I get into here, so like this screen where it shows you all the sessions, they would get a similar screen, but it's only going to show them the ones that they're directly tied to and they have management rights over. They're not going to be able to see or edit anything else.
Go to that report again. I had one question on that page.
This one here?
Yeah. No. Go to the individual. Edit your bill, and you can change the hours, right?
Yep, correct. Right down here, you can change them. So if I wanted it to be like 8 hours instead,
all right,
then we'll see right here already updated there. So that's how they would change hours for individual session or time slots right here. If we want to change what they've signed up for, we can edit it right here. And in admin mode, and again, it will let you know that you're in admin mode and who you're entering data for. In admin mode, I can remove time slots. So you'll see it will let me remove that for people if I'm in admin mode. Otherwise, like I said, they're locked as soon as they sign up for something.
You just to delete them, you don't really delete them. You just unclick it.
Yeah, pretty much. Yep, you would just remove them from that. So
okay.
So I can complete that here. It gives me the same exact screen from before. You return to the screen, and then you can see here it's already updated. It's only got my one there. Remove the other one that I had. Yeah. And then if I want to resend them that email, all I have to do is click this one.
Hold on a second.
Yeah.
I'm just. Let me think now. I'm a coordinator. How do I see? Is there an easy way for me to see what slots are not filled? You just go to that pencil, right?
For a specific person or for a specific for a time slot?
For event.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm the coordinator here. Let me put myself in the coordinator chair at the moment. And I said, I need to know. About 3 days before this event begins, what time slots do I need to get filled?
Okay, I didn't write any report like that just because we didn't ask for it, but I can definitely write something like that. I mean, we have all the data here, so.
Look at it. I mean, maybe you don't have to write a report, but how would I see that? Without a report, I wouldn't see that, right?
Yeah, there's no current way right now to see that. There's no display of that information. We have, let me see.
Well, if you click on the pencil here, don't you see, or you just see it for you?
We just see it for a specific person. So once we populate this, I mean, we would essentially, you'd be able to look at this report and say, okay, we added these here and we've got these, but there's not going to be anything that says, session name or, opportunity and then, or time slot and then how many things need to be filled still or how many volunteers.
Yeah, I just sitting here, I think we need something that shows where I don't have volunteers, because that's the biggest problem. Is at the last minute or so, they've just not filled the right slots. They need to blast an email out or something.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely write a report like that. That would be no issue. Probably only an hour or two to do that.
Okay, well, let's have that down. Yeah, that's going to be very important. It's going to really help them a lot. At the moment, they have to keep track of it themselves. This way, let the system track it, and then say, this is your time slots that are. It'll need to show what's filled and what's not filled. I mean, I don't think you just say what's empty, because that sort of only tells us half the story.
I think what would be easiest is per session, if I just listed all the opportunities and the time slots down below them, and I could just count and say, you have 3 signups for this one, 0 for this one, 1 for this one. Would that be helpful?
If you display that, you've got that nice display that says this time slot doesn't have a check mark. Somehow show the same sort of thing, but it says you got I got a number of people. Okay. Well, you think about it. The best way to display how many people have signed up and where we've got the gaps.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. No problem.
I think we need both what we have filled and what we haven't filled, in case someone says, I can do that, and then we can then switch it around. But
right.
Then we can see what's been filled and what's not been filled.
Okay. Yeah, I can definitely write a report to do that. Just make a note of that. Let's see, time slots. Okay. All right.
What are the two? Look at this screen again. You're right on a pencil there. Which that just does hours?
Yes, this one just views the individual hours. So that's how they can change the hours for the particular time slots.
Okay, and what was the other pencil on the right?
The other one is if you want to change what they've signed up for. So if you want to say, I don't want them to be an usher anymore. I want them to be at the front desk volunteer and a cleanup crew. Then we can complete that and return
then
here. And then you'll
email,
see that it's changed and updated here.
then you start to talk about the email, right?
Yes, and so all this email does, and actually I think it won't send it to me. Yeah, I've already resent it here. It has a timer on it to prevent you from multiple sending them. But if I click that one there, all you'll see is I get this volunteer email again. So you can see I sent it a couple times now.
Okay.
But it basically just sends a copy of that initial confirmation email that they get.
Okay. All right, that's good.
So that's exactly how you would resend that to people.
Okay.
All right, so
Good.
let's go back here
Excellent.
again.
This is good. This is good, by the way. I really
Awesome.
like this.
Great. That's great to hear. I appreciate that. Let's see, what else do we have here? Oh, the only other option we didn't go over here is just deleting. And that just, again, it's self-explanatory, just deletes the whole session from there. So don't do that unless you want to completely wipe out all the data for it. But
Okay.
let's see. So we've got our volunteer session. Oh, let's look at the permissions now. So permissions, you'll see because I added myself here as a volunteer coordinator, I was immediately granted this node right. You don't have to worry about the nodes, but the permissions right here are what I put in here. So you'll see that I've got manage volunteer session, live model session volunteers. If I want to add myself to more, I can edit it here. I just get checkboxes for the different sessions we've got set up, and I can do that. So now I have access to both the ones that we've created here.
Okay.
Or you can say, for a particular person, you can say, no, I'm going to give them all volunteer permissions, and then save it. And then you'll see that it updates right here. People can have multiples in here, like you see you've got multiple different ones in here, but basically the top level permission will take preference. So if you have an admin one here, even though you're tied to this one, you've got this node in here, so that means that you are a full admin. You can do whatever you want.
Right.
And also full admins in the system, like if you're already a complete admin in the system,
Right.
you don't even need to create a node right here. It already knows that you have access to this stuff. So that's right here how you would do stuff. And again, if you want to remove somebody, there's no delete one. You just go in here and you uncheck the boxes.
Okay.
And then they no longer have permission to that part.
Okay.
And that, again, that works for everybody. So you can add a new member permission relationship anytime that you want to. And this was the search one I was talking about here. So you can type into this box and it will narrow it down.
Right.
I'll change the other ones to use this because this is much nicer. But also and like I said, so it automatically will create that permission node once you create somebody as a coordinator, but you have the ability to remove it later if you want to. So if they're not doing what you want them to do or, whatever else, you can remove that easily.
Okay.
All right, and then finally, let's take a look at the reports here because I can actually get some data now. So this is the same report that that the members can run. So I'll default this one also. It's the same exact page. I'll default that to 1/1 of the current year, and then we can take a look at the members here. So you just pick a member that you want to run it for and run the report. Now, because that event I had was in April, it's not going to pull anything up on this report.
Right.
So let me change that date. It's somewhere in May. And now we get the report like this. So now it shows me the session that I was involved in, what my opportunity was, what my time slot was, and how many hours I earned. And then at the bottom, it aggregates the total that we've got for the year, or for the time frame, basically.
Perfect.
And I didn't make any other kind of exports on this, but I can easily make a PDF or a printable version or anything like that if you want to. So.
Now, that will show multiple events throughout the year, correct?
Yes, yeah. So anything that I signed up for, so if any number of sessions or opportunities or anything between these two dates that I signed up for is going to show up on this report.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. I think that's all the admin stuff.
Wait a minute.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No other reports yet, right?
That's the only report that we've got so far. That was the only one that we asked for. So.
No, we asked for a report. We need a report by, I thought we'd asked for this, but we would need a report by person. Well, okay, for the whole year, that's it, right? That would show everybody. It wouldn't just show you, right?
No, this one you have to pick a specific member.
That's the other one we want. We want a report of everybody's, of all volunteers, of all events for the year.
For that, would you just want then member name and then number of hours aggregated for the whatever time frame, or do you need a very detailed?
Go back to the report you've got. Let's just look at that report. Yeah, I would say we want one very high level global report that would say Bill has done 240 hours for that, time period to date.
Okay.
That's one, and that would list everybody who had done any volunteer work from January the 1st to current date.
And you would just name their name and then the total hours, correct?
I'm just thinking. That's number one. And let me think if we need a report that would list, it might be a good, you know what else, what we should have also is a report that says it's the same type of thing, except it would list the events they participated at and the total number.
So basically like this thing, but broken up just person by person by person.
Yeah, but I wouldn't, well, we could have that. Yeah, we could have that much detail, I guess. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I mean, if that's easy to do, then we can always, if you can extract it to a spreadsheet, we can always just say, we can take people and just show people and events. You know, we don't need to know. Yeah, yeah, a report that, because, I mean, there's not hundreds of pages of this. I mean, there's
I would say this, because I always run into this problem when I'm creating reports for people, is if you don't give me exact specifics, I'll sort of guess or I'll plug in what I think it should be like. And I always get people going, oh, well, that's not what I wanted at all. So
Yeah.
if you want to send me an exact, like if you want to send me a template and say, I want it to look like this and I want this information on it in this format, that will make things a million times easier for me. And it will cost you less money too, because I'll know from the outset, okay, this is exactly what I need to build.
Well, the first one is simple, right? The first one just person, hours to date.
Yep. And is that going to be, you want a CSV of that, like a spreadsheet export, or do you just want like a table like this?
Table like that, and then with an option to Excel it out.
Okay.
And then I'll call this one the next. I'll call the next report detail by member
Mm-hmm.
and event. Let me think about that one. That's one I'll specify for you. Okay.
Okay. I can get working on that other one. That other one's easy. That's no problem. But yeah, if you give me the specifics on the other one, I can give you a quote on how long that'll take. But
now this is good. This is great. Thank you.
God, no problem. That's good. I'm very happy about that. All right. Let's see. I want to show you something else too. Oh, the email thing. Okay. Did you have any other questions about this part while we're in here?
No. Go ahead.
Okay. So I remember you asked that you wanted to be able to email everybody who had signed up for particular things, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So what we did here, I added it to the broadcast email system because it has the most functionality and that'll really get you what you need here. We didn't have to reinvent the wheel for this one. So I'm just going to create a test message and we won't send it. Test. Okay, so we go past the attachments. Okay, so on the recipient screen, once you've created your email and attached whatever you wanted, and you need to pick your recipients. This by other grouping down here, I added two new parts. I added by volunteer session and by volunteer opportunity. So what those are going to do is if you pick the volunteer session one, it's going to grab anybody who signed up for a volunteer session, no matter what opportunity. So whether they're a front desk or an usher or whatever else, if they're within that one session you created, it's going to pull them in.
Yeah.
The opportunity is only going to be if they selected a time slot within that particular opportunity. So let's just look at the session one first. The session one, you just get a list of the sessions that you've created organized by date, and you just say add recipients. And you'll see here it added me and you because we were both recipients there, or we were both signed up for that one. So remove that. And then the other one is by volunteer opportunity. And you'll see here we've got all the opportunities that we've created, and then the volunteer session and the date are after that, so you can help narrow down what they are. And we picked the one we want to add recipients, and we both signed up for that one, so it added both of us again. So that's exactly how they would go through, and they would email like a big group of people that had signed up for a particular thing, or all the volunteers for a particular place. Or
Bill,
something.
who can see this? Who can do this?
These right now are only admins or people who have access to the broadcast email section. Now, if we want, I could probably add permissions for people who have volunteer coordinator stuff, but I would suggest not giving access to people like that.
Right. What about if they're an event coordinator, would they have access to this? Yes.
Not currently, not unless they were a full admin or they had admin rights to the broadcast email section.
Oh, so we just have to give them broadcast email access. Okay.
And the reason I separated them out like that is because the broadcast email section, you can do a whole lot more than just email volunteers for things. So you don't necessarily want to just blindly give people access to that one. But if you wanted to, I'm sure I could build something in where we could sort of filter them into a particular way like this and only pick certain people. But I guess that would be a decision on your guys' end on how detailed you wanted to get with the access that people had here.
Well, let me think about that one because I think one of the key things of this is we've got this wonderful sign up and everything else looks wonderful, and then they go, but I can't email reminding people that to go to the, there's a change to the event, we've got to get them there 15 minutes earlier or something. And they're the event coordinators. They're the ones.
Okay.
And they don't have access to the broadcast email, is what you're saying, right?
Yeah. So if we give somebody access to the broadcast email section, they have access to all of this right here.
Okay. I think we need to give the event coordinators some way of accessing this just for the volunteer part. Is that possible?
Let me think about that.
Because we're sort of giving them a big chunk of...
Yeah, I'll put it this way. I did it this way because it only took me about an hour to add those options into the broadcast email section. If we need to write a whole brand new broadcast email section that only the coordinators can access and can do stuff to, then we're going to have to create a brand new thing for that. It's going to be a lot longer. Let me think about trying to give people limited access to this. Let me think about that one and get back to you. And maybe you could talk with people in your organization and see how important that kind of thing would be.
Well, I know it's important. I don't have to talk to people. I mean, that would be critical, because I can see an event change, or I mean, if they have to start calling all these people, they've got 12 volunteers. They have to start making phone calls. They're going to go crazy. They need to be able.
Well, let me ask you this then. Instead of building a module that handles the broadcast email in the system, would it be okay with you if I just gave them like a list of email addresses that they could copy and paste into, if they just went to a report of all the email addresses for the people who had signed up, and then they made their own email on that?
Yeah, I think that's fine.
Okay. I'm trying to think of stuff that would be cost effective for you guys, because building a brand new broadcast messenger would not be very cost effective for you guys, but something like that would be pretty easy.
Yeah. Think of it that way first, and let's see what that would be. If not,
okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Just make that report. Emails.
Otherwise, they got to bug Pat, and she's swamped, and so and me or someone who's got full admin access, and that we might not be available, and they need to be able to send those emails out to people.
Okay.
So that's the criteria. They need to be able to get those emails out. If they have to select, cut, and paste, then that's not the best. But I mean, well, it's just as quick as doing it this way.
I could easily give them. Let's see. Let me go back to a page here. On this page right here, where they're looking at all the people who had signed up, I could easily make a little link for a report that would just list a formatted thing of emails that they would just copy and paste that block into their email program and then go from there.
Okay. Yeah, let's go for that for now.
Okay. Because that would take me less than an hour. That would be super easy. And in the future, if you find that that's untenable and it doesn't working well, then we can talk about creating a new thing for it. But I think this would be work for you.
Yeah, I mean, I almost like it from within this module, because then they're looking at the people. They go, "Oh, I'm short there. I don't have people there. I need to email out, or I've got to email all these people because we've changed the date. There's a venue change. There's a parking restriction. There's a
right.
I mean, that's the. If everything went according to plan in this world, we would have a
right? Wouldn't that be nice, huh?
Yeah.
Let's see. I feel like there was something else I wanted. Oh, the config page. Let me show you that real quick. It's very easy. Just want you to know where it is. In your configuration now, once we have this activated, you'll see we have at the bottom here, we've got volunteer configuration.
Cool.
And then these are all your verbiage options. So the main volunteering, and these are all the member pages. So the main volunteering page, the volunteer calendar page, my volunteer calendar page, the sign up, the confirmation email, and the confirmation page verbiage. These can all be clicked on, and you can just add in whatever custom verbiage you add in. Anything that you add here will just replace my default text that's in there right now.
Okay. All right.
So as soon as something's added in there, it will automatically update and replace anything. So you can put whatever custom things you want in right there. And because this is set up with the editor, you can put pictures, text, links, videos, whatever else you want in this page too.
Okay. All right.
All right. I think that's everything. What questions did you have for me about it?
No, we've gone through them all. We've gone through them. I need to provide you with that. So we solved the broadcast email issue, but I still need to give you that a layout of that report, right?
Yes. Yeah. And I'll get the other one with just the name and the hours and the CSV written.
Think about that a little bit. Okay. Cool.
All right. But yeah, other than that, everything's set up for you now, so it's available to be used and everything like that. So, oh, you know what else? I meant to show you just the help system right here. Um, any of these ones, the help link right up here. We've got just general articles about the volunteer module and then just some other specifics. So about permissions, time slots, opportunities, members, stuff like that.
Great.
And these pages are going to be the ones that I add the videos on. So I'm going to add a little video for how to create and set up a basic session, how to add a member to it, how to sign up, all sorts of stuff like that. So those videos are forthcoming.
Good.
All right. And like I said, I'm recording this one too. So I'll post this one and give you the link to that so you can send that to other people if you want to give them an overview. All right. Do you have any other questions for me, or?
No, excellent, Bill. Thank you very much.
No problem. No problem. Well, I will get working on that report and make these other little changes that we talked about. And then I'll send you this link to the video also.
Just so that from my contact, I'm going to be out of action tomorrow. I have a surgical procedure tomorrow.
Okay.
And will be around Wednesday, and then I'm out of town for a week.
I'm actually out of town next week too, so that's perfect.
So that'll work out. Okay, so good. So, but just let you know, you'll get nothing from me tomorrow probably. I don't know how long the procedure is. First thing in the morning it'll last, and then I'll be out of it for the rest of the day. So I need to get back into it. If I won't get back to you, if anything, until Wednesday at the earliest.
No worries at all. I'm working the rest of the week, and for a simple report like the one you're going to put together, I don't think that'll take me more than a couple hours. So I'm sure I can get it done this week if you get me that stuff.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yep. And I've also I've trained Brad and a couple other people here on the volunteer module, so they can also answer questions about it. So if anyone in your organization has questions about how stuff works, they're all trained on it now too. So.
And I'm sure that other organizations might be interested in it.
Yes, definitely.
Okay.
All right. Well, like I said, I'll get working on those in the meantime, and feel free to send me any questions or anything else that you think of.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
All right. Thanks a lot, John. Have a good day.
All right, good night.
Bye.